So, before we get started, I want to read you one of my favorite quotes from a man by the name of George Clason, who is a really smart guy that started a publishing company here in Denver, but who's probably best known for writing a series of articles and pamphlets on how to achieve financial success, or basically telling guys how to kill it in the business world. He says, "Money is plentiful for those who understand the laws which govern its acquisition." Now, I think this quote has a lot of relevancy in any industry or business, but when I read it the first time, I immediately thought about how it applies to poker. See, if you play long enough, you'll eventually find yourself in a situation where somebody asks, "So, what do you do for a living?" Or, "What do you like to do in your free time?" I, of course, usually say I play and coach poker for a living, and they almost always have the same response, which is, "What? Can you really make money doing that? Man, isn't that stuff all luck anyway?" Well, as poker players, we know that the reason we're able to come out on top in the long run is because we have a better grasp of what the laws are that control who the money flows to and from in the poker universe. I mean, after all, the reason we watch videos, buy coaching, and are constantly working on our games is because it isn't all luck, right? Look, what I'm saying here is that there's almost always a logical explanation behind everything we do in both poker and life. So, if your goal is to learn this stuff and become a successful PLO player, well, then the first step is to learn some PLO theory so that you can have a reference point to guide your decisions when you're at the table. So, remember for a second in the counterintuitive approach that we talked about the benefits of basing our pre-flop decisions off of what kind of post-flop situations we want to create. But what does that really mean? What post-flop parameters should we use, and which ones are the most important? Now, I'm a pretty big NBA fan, right? And being from Denver means that I love the Nuggets. We've had some sick teams lately, but unfortunately we keep choking towards the end of the year during crunch time. But they have some pretty sick talent and a good coach, so I think they'll eventually take one down. Anyways, if you pay any attention to the NBA, you've definitely heard people use the term the Big Three to describe the powerful trifecta of Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. So, to help you remember the three parameters that we're going to be covering today, I'm going to refer to them from now on as the Big Three, which are position, number of opponents, and SPR. Now, each hand has an ideal situation for it in terms of the Big Three, and basing preflop decisions around the Big Three gives us the best opportunity to realize our equity, which, if you recall from watching the core PLO concepts and the counterintuitive approach, is definitely a good thing, right? Now, these aren't all of the parameters that define each post-flop situation, but they're definitely the most relevant and the easiest to measure. Other things like initiative, image, board texture, and opponent tendencies will all be discussed throughout QuickPro, but for now, it's best to just focus our attention on the three that will impact our decisions the most.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Casino Crime here. Now, if you like this video and you want more, then go ahead and click the subscribe button below right now. And if you want to join me for more of my 6 Max success secrets and free video tutorials, just click the link to the right. See you inside the trainings. Good luck.